Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink, it is time for some Path of Exile discussion. Today is day 15 of spoiler season for 3.19 and the Lake of Kalandra expansion. With the league only a few days away, you'd think we might be getting some big news today, but actually we weren't getting all that much. Most of the big news was 3 days ago, so I'll put a link at the end of this video to the big reveals from that day if you haven't already seen them. But there was some new stuff today, so let's quickly cover that. Firstly, we have the Lake of Kalandra boss kill event. For those of you that fancy yourself as one of the top 50 players in the game, then this is an event for you to prove it. This is a hardcore solo self-found event on PC, and it is a softcore solo self-found event on console. And this is going to be a race to be either one of the first 3 players overall to kill all 7 Uber Pinnacle bosses, or to be the first for your ascendancy of choice. Console version's a little bit different, so I'll put a link down in the description below. If you do fancy yourself as someone that can take on those very difficult encounters in hardcore solo self-found, then all the best of luck in the event. And also, if you want to watch some really exciting undergeared attempts at some of these bosses, there'll be a lot of people streaming their progress, and that can be really exciting, watching people take on a genuinely very difficult fight like the Uber Searing Exarch, but doing so in a context where they do not have really powerful endgame gear yet because they're trying to race with other people and they've got to take some risks. Next, we have a quality of life change that's being made, and this is going to be the thing that's going to affect the most people, but also be one of those little things that you don't really notice. And that is that Eater of Worlds progress and Searing Exarch progress are going to show up on your map device. Additionally, the same thing will be true for progress towards Maven 10 ways for the 2 or 3 of you that actually care about those. Finally, we got the really interesting thing, which is a unique item. This was actually commissioned by streamer Iron vs Wild. He was the person who worked out all of the mechanics of how recombinators worked in patch 3.18. So he's someone who loves to deep dive into various mechanics and their interactions within the game. This is a set of gloves that have 3 minor stats on them: life, fire resist, and physical attack damage leached. All of these are upsides, but the reason you're wearing them is the last part. So this transforms the effect of your life recovery from regeneration. If you have regeneration effects such as a Stone Golem's persistent life recovery, a Vitality Aura, or lots of other sources like the burst of healing that you get after casting Enduring Cry, then with Kaom's Spirit that will not apply to your life. Instead, it will apply to your rage at a greatly reduced rate. So if you would be recovering 150 life per second from a Stone Golem, you will instead regenerate 1 rage per second. If you would be recovering 900 life per second from regeneration, you're instead going to gain 9 rage per second. And that's where this starts to be really significant. Gaining that much rage is a pretty big deal, especially when you can spend it to fuel the skill Berserk. And that's what these gloves are for. Berserk is an incredibly powerful skill that grants your character a huge boost of power for a short period of time. The skill's designed to be completely unsustainable over the very long term, but if you have a lot of investment in rage recovery, then you can cause Berserk to have a pretty high uptime. Now, in that situation, Kaom's Spirit is perfect because it is providing you with all the rage that's necessary to fuel that Berserk. Is it worth it? I think the answer is probably yes. I think these are going to be a very solid set of gloves, but they're not something that you can just throw on any ordinary build. One last thing to state that's very important with these is that life recovery from regeneration is different to life recovery from life leech, and so you can still leech life. I actually think the reason that this has the physical attack damage leached as life is somewhat as a tutorial for the random player that happens to come across this item and that isn't a super enfranchised player that knows all these little interactions. That's just something that may point them in the direction of exploring. Do these stats work together? And then maybe, can I use it on my build? I'm expecting this item to be quite rare, and Iron vs Wild has not been told anything about where it drops, except that it is considered to be a Kaom item for the purpose of the strongbox, the unique strongbox that drops a Kaom item. That does respect the relative weightings of various items though, and so even Kaom's Heart is not very common from that, and this item might be rarer than Kaom's Heart. I'm expecting this to be perhaps a tier 1 rarity unique. That'd be the same rarity as items like Asenath's Gentle Touch, Badge of the Brotherhood, and Maloney's Mechanism, but of course I could be wrong. I don't have any more information than you do, and so it's pure speculation. Maybe it's also been given to a boss. Again, we'll have to find that out. Anyway, that's all I got for today. Those links to discussion of day 12 are up. So if you missed the Trickster Ascendancy discussion, that'll be in the bottom left of the screen. And if you missed the live stream that I did where we went through all the things in the patch notes, big and small, that'll be in the bottom right of the screen. May your Varlorbs have interesting results.